We must judge that the irrationalism that Sartre appears to embrace will ultimately lead us to a kind of intellectual paralysis and moral skepticism that can purport nothing but final abrogation of our possibilities for freedom, and in that way, our data defeat a world of mechanics that we ourselves have created. something not too many people have known about up until now is that when I was very young, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, the name of one of my former summer camp counselors was Harvey Bugner. And I couldn't say for sure if his personality reminded me of the personality of Dr. Horatio Birdbath from the Spike Jones show, but that would have been possible, but I didn't get to know the guy too well. I just thought he had an extraordinary name, but that was actually his name, Harvey Bugner, or H. Bugner Esquire. Try to imagine that for a name of a candidate running for political office in a local community or town, or if he was running for mayor of your town, or campaign literature with that name. Bugner for candidate, or a vote for Bugner. 10 people had used the phone before I woke up. The phone was 2 feet in front of me, but it was too hot for me to move, which means I was 2 feet before the phone. 2 years before the mask, 2 feet before the phone. Just when the store was about to close, I finally was just about to touch the phone receiver, but it disappeared before my very eyes. It was a mirage. Turned out the nearest phone was 20 miles away. That is the nearest unused phone. But it happened to be temporarily out of service. The line was broken by the telephone pole vaulters. The line was broken. That's fate. It's too late. If it's too late, that's fate. Get a paper plate for your potly hairless pate. Use it as a pillow and strand it on the sidewalk or in the gutter when unable to move due to heat and humidity of climate. PTP, paper towel poetry, a poem originally written on a paper towel. PTP is a dangerous drug. PTP is a Look out! You'll explode. But you'll explode even more once you know that you will have to wear your clothes and make your bed. And that's life on the floor of your merry treehouse in the yard on top of a spring, which is part of somebody else's bed. It is the mainspring of culture. Daily lives are the mainstream of culture revolve around the mainspring. It's a spring from Maine, or that is a spring made in the state of Maine. A mainspring. I'm making my bed when the sock inside the elephant shoe says hello, and I fall asleep, only to wake up in time for the crust to burn. Then I turn the ovens off and on, sticking each punk into a hole drilled in a pinwheel cookie. It looks like the English teacher and some girl who's an English major both whirling around like soup. Now the bowl of soup in front of me is whirling around like them. Another eater has been stirring the soup in his bowl for 3 hours, probably because he's a little stoned. Another possible reason he's doing this may be that he wants to see what it's like to whirl soup around for that long a time, but I think the real reason is because everybody else in the room reminds him of Daddy Warbucks. They were the soup whirlers, Canadian pea soup, not French onion soup. Makes me cry too much. The soup whirlers couldn't whistle. Engineer wasn't around. Day off. So the train didn't run through the aisle this time. Which was a good thing because a cafe was named the Invisible Nostril. Wanders alone from Market McCompton and Elgin Park streets to Flatland streets and Rockaway Parkway, trying to find where the water tastes like wine at 3:49 a.m. He was a bright boy, very bright boy. He was a very bright girl. Starlight, star bright. Both damn bright kids. Brightness staggers the imagination. None. None could be brighter than Coca-Cola. We'll stick in the body. I'm looking for that slip of paper that resembles either blue or pink litmus paper. Otherwise, I remember when I learned about that in 5th grade. And the time that one teacher tried to teach us about the elements, even at that time, there are too many to remember. Even though that was an elementary school. And otherwise, well, I didn't get struck by a wiffle ball on my way here. Sometimes I've had dreams of running into certain women I thought I'd never see again, or sometimes meeting completely new ones, and then we wound up making out for a while, and then I guess just had a little fun in the dream, but I keep waking up before the ultimate happens, and other times, sometimes I've had nightmares, but it would take me a little time to remember them. Certain ones are too unpleasant for me to think about too often, so it's just going to take me a little time. I guess right now it's a little rough for me to think of one to talk about. I remember I was born on a pirate ship. Kids in private school used to tell each other to say that phrase while holding their tongue. I was born on a pirate ship. That was only an inside joke among private school crowds. Where nobody, the public schools I attended ever mentioned that or thought about that phrase. I remember back in my physics class in high school, the teacher would sometimes say, Groban, sit down, Groban -10. Every time a student got out of line that class, he'd keep saying our names and then -10. -10, -10, -10. And then, of course, we would all say it right after it. -10, -10, -10. And then none of us had to go to the office except for a few exceptional rare cases. Sometimes the principal walked in the classroom. And that was part of my partying time in high school. Subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis, subspecie aeternitatis. Subspecie aeternitatis, 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 subspecie aeternitatis. what would happen if the staff of the administration of Evanston Hospital decided to get away from the pressure of their jobs and take time out to break dance. Don't talk silly, little boy. It's past your bedtime. Don't bother me with such silly nonsense. Although the head waiter of Evanston Hospital cafeteria refuses to heed the message of prophecy from his son, that doesn't mean it couldn't happen. One day the whole staff of Evanston Hospital, or other places in power, could be bewitched by the Russians or the Libyans or the Nicaraguans and breakdance on the job. Of course, people think I'm crazy broadcasting this from the top of the tree to a road marker overlooking the beautiful, breathtaking rooftop of Nortown, the Cleanums, which resembles the back of a Rorschach inkblot test car. But that doesn't mean it couldn't happen, or that it won't happen. I broadcasted the message through my road marker. And sometimes through my opened up empty can of Jay's popcorn, or was a new era's popcorn, or cheese corn. I reckon that would convince them for sure. You know, you sound like an engine man. You sure you're all right? What's all this nonsense about breakdancing? He just believes people are going to be possessed in breakdance. We're all entitled to our own religious beliefs, maybe, but he distorts the piece. It's a drag. By the beard of the steward of the temple of the god West, of victorious Thebes, the section of Thebes, it's a drag. By the beard of the high priest of the temple of the goddess Wessa, our mistress of might, of victorious Thebes, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the other priests of the temple of West of the victorious Thebes, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the lesser prophets of the temple of West of victorious Thebes, it's a drag. By the beard of the steward of the temple of West of the victorious Thebes, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the priests of the sacred barge of Osiris of some unknown location, it's a drag. And by the beard of the hereditary prince, who is also sun priest, master of all wardrobes, prophet of Ptah, and divine father of Ptah of Memphis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the high priest of the temple of the bull god Apis of Memphis, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the other priests of the temple of Apis of Memphis, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the lesser prophets of the temple of Apis of Memphis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the steward of the temple of Apis of Memphis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the overseer of the stone hall for Ammon, mounted with gold of the temple of Ammon of Napata, it's a drag. And by the beard of the overseer of the other hall for Ammon for provision of milk from his many herds of the rear exit of the temple of Ammon of Napata, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the priests of the chapel of Prince Pedareps, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the attendants of the divine voters of Thebes, it's a drag. And by the beard of one of the marshals of the divine voters of Thebes, it's a drag. And by the beard of the commander-in-chief of the Pharaoh's army, who is also Pharaoh's sole companion, nomarch, or provincial governor of Heracleopolis and chief of the harbor of Heracleopolis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the overseer of the offerings to Nitocris of Thebes, it's a drag. By the beard of the nomarch of Iana in the district of Heliopolis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the nomarch of Iana, by the beard of the noble or lord of the estate of Patoa and the nome of Oxorhynchos, it's a drag. And by the beard of the noble of the estate of QQ in the nome of or district of Sep, it's a drag. By the beard of the noble of one of the estates of Nasuman in the district of the Hair Nome or Hermopolis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the prince or princelet of the town of Kai in the nome of Aphroditopolis, it's a drag. And by the beard of the mayor of Kai in the Aphroditopolite nome, it's a drag. And by the beard of the official recorder of Kai in the Aphroditopolite nome, it's a drag. And by the beard of the scribe of Kai in the Aphroditopolite nome, it's a drag. By the beard of the scribe of the fields of Kai in the Aphroditopolite nome, it's a drag. And by the beard of the noble of the estate of Harsias in the unknown district or nome in the Southland, it's a drag. And by the beard of the prince, who is also the fourth prophet of Ammon of Thebes, who is also governor of the whole south, it's a drag. And by the beard of the chief or noble of one of the estates of the southern Bedouin, the nome of Sais, it's a drag. He ain't trying to yodel this to them babes through his road marker again, is he?
I frequently read lists of poets in certain newspapers and other literature, and I keep seeing so many different unfamiliar names, so I would swear that the readings and open mics, and even readings that aren't, that are prearranged and not open mic, I would swear there are at least as many poets as there were brooms in the excerpt, Sorcerer's Apprentice in the Disney movie Fantasia, as many poets as there are brooms that come to life. I don't know if you remember that animated cartoon scene, but first the Disney cartoon character Mickey Mouse is a sorcerer, and no, he's a sorcerer's apprentice, but he wears like a sorcerer hat or a cone hat with moon and stars. So in that scene, at some point, there are these brooms, and these brooms, they look like they're marching, and they increase in number, and they come to life because after a while that they've got faces. They're facing a broom cart, and they just, and I think somehow the cartoonist added there's a sort of simplified arms, legs, and hands, and the brooms keep increasing in number and coming to life. So they practically, well, they're water that they practically push the Mickey Mouse character out of the frame. But he's not pushed out of the frame completely. But I'd have to see the movie again to remember what happens exactly. But I just remember that's what happened generally. So whenever I try my damnedest to work on housekeeping in places I live, I've only got one broom, so I sometimes wonder what would happen if the broom suddenly came to life and started pushing me out of the room. And there's probably, what if that happened on Broom Street? And sometimes whenever I'm booted out of high-end gallery occasions because either somebody's turned off by my appearance or thinks I get too wasted, I'll sometimes suddenly ride out on a broom like a witch. Like the witches of traditional legends. And it'd be far out if I could ride away on a broom that's steam powered, super steam powered, and on 1.5 wheels, with a board for a Lionel Railroad set carefully balanced on top of my head, complete with a tassel from a high school graduation hat attached, and a Monopoly game board on top, balanced on top of that. And I didn't come here to play miniature golf.
On TV, I could have sworn I saw the role of Spock from Star Trek replaced by the daughter of Groucho Marx, alternately by Joel Daly, alternately by Jenny Jones. Whenever something goes wrong with a ship's orbit in outer space, or with the computers, ask Scan Landers, or try to sing Frank Sinatra's Witchcraft in crazy voices. I just tried that while I was waiting in the state employment office in the afternoon. I had a feeling I might not get called or seen because I knew the office was short-staffed, but I still had to go sit in the waiting room because the unemployment department insisted I had to be there because of their rules. I also know I would have been bored in the waiting room since I was there. One thing about these waiting rooms, they've rarely got any books on archaeology of the Etruscans or on historiography of history of the Udburs. Also, no merry-go-round and no swimming pool. And also no book on the lives of the original creators of Mrs. Winslow's Soothing Syrup, which has probably never been read by the employees of Nortown the Cleaners or by Spock's mother-in-law. Yeah, that would really help. It would, but the state will never do it. It's a drag. These waiting in these waiting rooms is a drag. It is a drag. By the beard of the or minor or lesser lord or noble of the low tribe or subdivision of the or the low Zelenchuk subgroup of the low tribe or subdivision of the Tapanta or Baschok dialect group of the Abaza of one of the villages on the greater Zelenchuk River. It's a drag. By the beard of one of the Kvatanak or paramount elders of the low Zelenchuk subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Yakabara, or council of elders of the same village on the greater Zelenchuk River. It's a drag. By the beard of one of the Yakaba, or elders of the low Zelenchuk subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Yakabara of the above-mentioned village on the greater Zelenchuk River. It's a drag. By the beard of the Ahamstukvim of the Yaslank, also known as the Aslangire or Aslangiriye subgroup of the low Panta Abaza of one of the villages on the stream Chasautu, also known as the stream Chasaut or Aksaut, one of the branches of the Lesser Cardonic or Lesser Cardenic River, one of the branches of the Lesser Zelenchuk River. It's a drag. By the beard of one, the Kavatanak of the Aslankut subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Yakabara of the same village on the stream Chasautu. It's a drag. By the beard of one of the Yakaba of the Aslan subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Akabara of the aforementioned village on the stream Chasautu. It's a drag. By the beard of the Achimstutkvim of the low Kwaje subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of one of the villages on the Lesser Cardonic River, a branch of the Lesser Zelenchuk River. It's a drag. By the beard of one of the Kvatanak of the low Kwaje subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Yakabara of the same village on the Lesser Cardonic River. It's a drag. By the beard of one of the Yakaba of the low Kwaje subgroup of the low Tapanta Abaza of the Yakabara of the above said village on the Lesser Cardonic River. It's a drag. By the beard of the Khalifa of the Jibdiya, it's a drag. By the beard of the Khalifa of the Matmata of the East, it's a drag. By the beard of the Khalifa of the Matmata of the West, it's a drag. By the beard of the Shaush, or military commander of the Ujak of Gabes, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of the Nefet Mahad, it's a drag. By the beard of the Hadi, a religious judge of Ghadamas, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of the Ulad Abd al-Hamid, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of the Akkara, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of the Khusur Twazin, Akhara, and the Hawiya of Made the Nin, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of Tatawin, it's a drag. By the beard of the hide of the Uar Ghamma, it's a drag. By the beard of the Jewish merchant notable of the Lumbro family of the Suqal Grana Corps of Tunis, it's a drag. By the beard of the Jewish merchant notable of the Tobria family of the Suqal Grana Corps of Tunis, it's a drag. By the beard of the Jewish merchant notable of the Siyah family of the Suqal Grana Corps of Tunis, it's a drag. By the beard of the Jewish merchant notable of the Kuskas family in the Suqal Grana Corps of Tunis, it's a drag. By the beard of the Jewish merchant notable of the Nizar family in the Suqal Grana Corps of Tunis, it's a drag. By the beard of the Qadi of Tatawin, it's a drag. By the beard of one of the independent merchants of the souk or marketplace in Tatawin, it's a drag. By the beard of the merchant notable of the Theni family of Ghadamas, it's a drag. After you read this, I should say so. Yeah, this definitely is a drag. Does social science really function in the way that Jean-Paul Sartre supposes? Human sciences should elaborate a system which plays a part of a synthesizing operator between idea and fact, thereby turn them into signs. McLuhan's idea of the medium is a heroic hypothesis. The massive reading market is normally out of touch with current works of men like Levi-Strauss, Talcott Parsons, and Robert King. How many of your personal or impersonal acquaintances are aware that McLuhan's theory is hardly a bête noire? Would you have the nerve to broadcast that through Bullhorn if you were in the position of coaching a Little League game? The temple of Uttamatani to Perumana the garden of Kirar. And according to the psychologist Ellen Langer, who may or may not have patronized Northtown community, we're not taught the proper way to pay attention. As an experiment, she asked both pupils and teachers what it meant to concentrate. Their across-the-board response was that in their opinions, it meant to hold an image still in your mind. But as quoted by Dr. Langer, or possibly by Dr. No or Dr.
There's a show going on here!
Not to mention Dr. Benway, that's not really paying attention, that's boring. As another experiment, she asked a group of women who hated football to watch the sport on TV, which bore them.
Oh, a wonderful day. Hi, how are you? Love you, folks. Love you, man. Okay.
Mainly to try to look for...
That's kind of a long letter. Could you hurry and speed it up, please?
To look for whatever was unusual and novel about each play. Well, this poem or this work for them as much as a typical football game did before they watched that particular game. The writer of this work needs medication. I honestly wouldn't know. Your guess on that's as good as mine. It might depend on what sign they are. His cousin's been back on his medication again. He's acting crazy again. Yeah, sometimes that happens. It does. Leaping lizards. If that ever happened to Punjab or Daddy Warbucks, that would be a drag. Sounds like a drag. It's not drag. By the chin of the Guardian, our spirit medium of the sandstone statue or shrine of the divinity, Satoman or Satabali, in the middle row of the fourth.
Okay, lovely. This is working out fine.
Karang, or the group of man-made forester divinities of the ancestors, the founders and first tillers of the fields and the territory of agriculture, and protection against demonic forces from spreading evil and misfortune, which represent celestial powers of the village of Kubutambaha. North of Lake Bratan, slightly northeast of the village of Bulian, and Buleleng in the northern region of the island of Bali. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Jimbawan. Also in the middle row of the forecourt of the Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Sarangi Mukha. Also in the middle row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Singamukha in the front row of the forecourt of the temple Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Rekatamuka, also in the front row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Dalem, also in the front row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Pati Prahasta, also in the front row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Tualan, also in the front row of the forecourt.
This is great stuff. Did you write this?
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Gawa. Also in the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Sarpa Mukha, also in the front.
Give him the mic.
Temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. By the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue of the divinity Makaramuka, also in the front row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutambahan. It's a drag. by the chin of the guardian of the sandstone statue, the divinity Aswamuka. Also in the front row of the forecourt of the temple of Pura Madua Karanga, Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the stone offer Kam Zerogade, or the guardian spirit of the forecourt of the entrance gateway to the right of the south stairway in the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the Babaturan, or complex of 3 shrines dedicated to divinities Patiya Prahasta, Sugriva, Anila, Prahasta Manda, and Asti Mukha from the Ramayana epic of the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karanga Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of Asti Mukha, or elephant face, and Sangyang Gana, or Ganirka. Both English and Balinese.
But it wasn't English and we love this territory.
It partly is.
Well, which part?
The introductory line.
Keep reading, Way.
All right, or God with the head of an elephant on the south side of the wall of the temple here, of the Pura.
I love that. I don't see that word.
Of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian, the shrine of the goddess Durga, a representation as the Malishashura Madadini, or destroyer of destroyer of the demonic water buffalo, and magic protector of dark passions in her manifestations as Rangda, who resembles a horned beast at the rear of the northern Gadong, a miniature stone building with a carved gilded double door on the roof resting on 4 wooden pillars of the Babataran, at the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang, Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of the god Vishnu, represented outside his giant bird Garuda on the rear side of the
It's kind of like doing that, yeah.
The second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba.
No, you're coming back now.
By the chin of the guardian of the shrine of one of the minor divinities, who are personifications of forces of growth.
Real good stuff.
By activating influence of aroused by activating influence of the sun, who also represents a procreative force, and one of the 2 Gadongs of the Babataran of the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of one of the minor divinities, who are personifications of forces of growth, aroused by activating influence of the sun, who also represent the procreative force, and the other Gadong of the Babataran of the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of one of the demonic figures on the rear at the rear side of one of the 2 Gadongs of the Babataran of the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of one of the other demonic figures on the rear side of the other Gadong of the Babataran of the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the 2 Gadongs of the Babataran, the second split level gate at the entrance of the inner court dedicated to the fertility god Ratu Mura Panaba Nsari, and the goddess Ratu Ayu Panaba Sari of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the Padmasana shrine, dedicated to the sun god Surya, flanked by the 2 Gadongs, dedicated to the Chthonic divinities of the Babataran, the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the shrine of Ratu Mura Tangahin Toya, the Lord ruler in the midst of the water, also at the second split gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of one of the Prawayas, or priests or officials in charge of holy waters of the shrine of Ratu Mura Panaba Sari, and one of the 2 Gadongs of the Babataran at the second split level gate at the entrance of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag, by the chin of the guardian of the sun god Agum, or great shrine on a high bamboo platform of Surya in the Kaja eastern corner of the inner court of the temple of Pura Madua Karang of Kubutumba Hatzadrag. Does the writer of this work really need
Does the writer of this work really need medication? I don't know, I'm not a shrink.
Very good. Very good.
I'm trying to pack orders as fast as I can, but pack them as fast as you can with all your might. Faster, 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 faster. Well, I'm glad I'm out of that scene. And at the present time, I'm with group therapy members, and we're all meeting on top of a zircon. And it's a little rough trying to get from my place to group therapy on a raft like the Kontiki, and especially in the suburb it's located in. And I tried in vain to paddle there by canoe or to get there by riverboat. And I'm trying to think of what I would do if somebody gave me a free roller coaster as a personal gift, or a Wurlitzer. I don't know where I would put it in my space. But so I sometimes wonder what would happen if I suddenly won a free Wurlitzer in a contest, or if somebody thought I was somebody else and they just dropped it off in my place. Or it might not fit through the door, but I couldn't say for sure. And the door of one of the refrigerators in my folks' place, I once thought it was the same shape and size as Door County, Wisconsin.
La maca.
Ever wonder what it's like to have a crush on this very, very beautiful girl whose voice is a date ringer for Peter Ustinov's, or Pete Ustinov's, or another one where, or whose voice sounds like Edward G. Robinson's, or like, Senor Wences. Man. The ball, man. The ball, man. Don't duck it. I would if I could, but man, I don't want that ball to strike me, especially the local annual dance ball. I can't let a couple thousand people hit me. Also, I'm dirty and too much dirt would get on their clothes. That's no good, especially for all the women at the ball whose voices sound like Peter Ustinov's. They're trying to imitate him singing Jimmy Crack Corn and I Don't Care, accompanied by a harpsichord, a cello, and a Stradivarius, a most pleasant combo to the ears of the average listener whose favorite haunt is Nortown Cleaners, a place where there's probably an overwhelming number of average listeners. Don't know how I'm going to get the women I like interested in me. It's a drag, a real drag. Drag. By the beard of the Piat Lord, or High Steward or Treasurer of the Monastery of Trin Dus Galzan, somewhere north of Jekindo, it's a drag. By the beard of the Nyirpa, or Steward of the Monastery of by the beard of one of the senior monks of the monastery of Prim Du Galzang, it's a drag. By the beard of one of the Get-Lord, or fully ordained monks of the monastery of Prim Du Galzang, it's a drag. By the beard of one of the Get-Tul, or novice monks of the monastery of Prim Du Galzang, it's a drag. By the beard of Blamat Sa, or Habit or Lama substitute of the nomads of the area of Mart Godia. They're near the monastery of Prim Du Galzang, it's a drag. By the beard of the Piat Zod, of the lands of the nomads of the area of Mort Godia, it's a drag. By the beard of the Nyirpa, of the lands of the nomads of the area of Mort Godia, it's a drag. By the beard of the Labat Sab, of the monastery of Shaudo, near Cheshindo, it's a drag. Sometimes job interviewers have tried to analyze and figure out my problems while munching on deep dish pizza and trying to play ping pong at the same time while he was interviewing and trying to analyze me. Is what certain kids in class used to say when teachers gave them extra homework and they wanted to watch Disneyland. Disneyland! Don't do this! I think I choked on a peach pit. All right. deadhead subculture represents to some extent a looser definition of what normal behavior really is, where one could look or dress as weird as possible and not be thought of as weird, where one could eat crackers with a spoon and fork in the middle of the crowd and still not be thought of as weird. From the song line from Terry Bennett's Jabberwocky Place, where one could practice scuba diving or try to teach quantum theory to a class while practicing dribbling of a basketball munching ferociously on a slice of deep dish pizza, preferably cassava taro pizza, in the middle of the crowd and still not be thought of as weird, something I've never tried personally or impersonally. What would have been like if the Grateful Dead played in Duckburg? Donald? No, the inside of the Rosemont Horizon doesn't resemble Carlsbad Caverns. Not particularly, not hardly. Also doesn't resemble Dogpatch, Huddersfield Dogfield, or Hutter's Patch, or the inner depths of the Tasty Tree stand, formerly located on 100th Street in Oglesby. No, Carl Oglesby never partied there. One could even try to imitate King Kong, trying to dance a classical dance of the Srivijayan or Majapahit Empire, and still be thought of as normal, unless such behavior is displayed in the crowd by a psychiatrist who judges who's normal. One square of veggie lasagna I got from a vendor was shaped like Times Square. Or was it shaped like St. Mark's Square in Venice or Wenceslas Square in Prague? Anybody who's square might think this is a stupid question, but this is supposed to be a free-thinking atmosphere. I'm not trying to beg people to buy me an Alfa Romeo for Christmas, so what's the big deal? If a teacher tried to imitate a student of her class in front of the crowd during the peak point of a Grateful Dead concert, her voice or his voice simply wouldn't be heard. Only a small percentage of the crowd would think her or his voice represents the voice of America.
Tell me, when did you start horse riding?
Well, first, we're under the indirect control or influence of the big impersonal corporate giant, who may or may not resemble Daddy Warbucks, Dennis the Menace, or your shrink. But is he big and fat like a baseball bat?
I understand, but what I also am curious about is just where do these ideas come from?
Well, I just start writing and let myself go. I guess whatever ideas come out, it depends on what mood I'm in. And there's something I have to admit, sometimes I use certain helpers.
Yeah, what kind of help is that?
Oh, mainly alteration of consciousness.
I did that you meant to help.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm not and then I just let myself go and write. Or sometimes sometimes a few bits of red leb or a dark blonde maraca or whatever, or a black khaki, whatever, or a cashmere twist if possible.
What about the fine warm breezes in summer? Do you find that an inspiration sometimes? Like a night like this?
It depends. In this town or place or atmosphere that's similar to this, yeah. I guess it would depend on the scene of the town. And the big impersonal corporate giant has never invited me to any parties. How many of us have been to parties thrown by the big impersonal corporate giant? What's his social security number? Was he or it bad in geometry? Does he resemble computer hell? Try to copy passages from page 361 of James Joyce's Ulysses with a tune and fork on a slice of pizza. And what is Fate's last name? So sometime now and then I've wondered about that. And I suppose what I'm inspired to write and what I'm inspired to write about, it would depend on where I am at the time. But in this case, the weather's right for being outdoors.
So your inspiration is definitely coming from all different directions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say to some extent, yeah. But it also partly depends on what kind of mood you're in inside, regardless of the geography of where you are. But, I sometimes wonder what I would write about if the climate was the same, the weather the same, but if I was in a place like Emporia, Kansas, or Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
May very well be the same.
Yeah. Well, just a maybe. But I sometimes wondered what a scene like here would be. Well, what it would be like compared to a place like Emporia, Kansas, or Holders, Nebraska.
Fascinating.
Not to mention. Not to mention Panola, Illinois. That's I think that town's small enough to not have a post office or police station. It was in a Believe It or Not book. Beautiful, breathtaking Panola, Illinois. Well, it's a very small town in downstate Illinois. It's almost not even a town. I sometimes wondered how I would be inspired in that type of scene. It's hard to imagine what the partying scene would be like around there.
Very personal.
Not to mention the partying scene typical of a place like Brigham Young University.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, can you share with me a little bit more of your thoughts that you
I'll
have
give
brought
it a
with you?
try. Well, first I didn't write this poem on the back of Wechsler multi-phasic personality tests. And test forms should be written on ticker tape. A mean level of schizophrenia. I'm not 18, but I still gotta get out of that place. It's gonna be banana. I'm slightly over 18 and I gotta get out of that place. When I was 18, I sometimes liked it. Sometimes liked it. I was an industrial design major at 18 and I liked it. Well, until I found out nothing more what industrial design really is. Certain parts of I like them better than others. But I still gotta get out of that plastic work scene. The computer's out of order again. Well, where is he? We gotta get out of this place. Where is he? Where's this number? Where's this file? Who had the right to leave what was left on inside the left side of what was left of the knapsack to the left of it? What right have you got to call the right side of things starboard? I don't know. Depends on whether or not you got the right to place whatever's left of the right side of the knapsack to the right or left of the not yet eaten apple grid. Oh, what an ordeal. Such ordeals one must go through, like going through a viaduct and a half. Couldn't get through. One viaduct was completely jam-packed with pilaf. Another viaduct had only one nostril, which made it very one-sided. Openings or tunnels in a viaduct can look like nostrils from a distance, especially in the village of Mount Nose, where gossip always goes on. Nosy people. That village is full of nosy people. In fact, I'm even scared to have any of them read this poem or vignette, or even let them know about it. If they ever did, there'd be no end to the gossip, and my life wouldn't be my own anymore if I ever moved there. Only one viaduct with one nostril in the village. I ought to know. It says so on the jigsaw puzzle.
This is the world-famous skyline of New York City. Well, a part of it. A part that nobody ever sees. Coney Island is actually in the city of New York. But nobody who's been to Coney Island has ever seen nobody at Coney Island. Because this clean, so clean, empty beach, with the trash baskets lined up at attention in perfect rows, looks like this only once a day, when the big city's still in bed. The beach and this painted village lying quiet in the early morning sun is Coney Island. New York swelters in the summer, and as the sun rises higher in the hot sky, millions of people leave the baking streets and go down to the seaside, down to Coney Island, USA. People come to Coney Island just for fun. And all the odd pieces of equipment and the peculiar rides which go round and round to nowhere have to be tested and oiled every day. You see, a lot of the fun is machine-made fun. The big show is almost ready. Pull back the curtain. And now they're coming. A few by car, but mostly by subway. From Brooklyn and the Bronx, from Manhattan, from Kansas City, from Paris. All coming to Stillwell Avenue, the station for Coney Island. And now they're here. Welcome to Coney Island, playground of the world.
Let's play the Coney Island Star game. Come in and win a live canary bird, a Bambi dial, a nickel. You gotta roll them down to win them a nickel. On it, Bob. All right. On it, Bob. Right them up here. What are you waiting for? Saying, look, come on, take a ride.
your money and you takes your choice. You can be spun, banged, turned upside down, or half killed. You pays your money and you takes your choice. You and I, the ocean and the sun. You and I, alone.
Even my former shrinks don't understand things nobody understands. And I gotta tell you, I'm not joking about that. I'm really not. And if you tell me I am, I'm gonna sock you. So you really think I'm gonna sock you from this and just from this mic? So. Don't argue with me or I'm gonna sack you. What if suddenly it became a social norm for everybody to jump up in the restaurants and scream out? To ward off evil spirits, especially while drinking coffee.